Hey there, welcome to another episode of Tales from the Podcast. I'm your host JB, and I got a guest, and this is going to be a pretty fun episode. But before I go ahead and introduce the guest this week, I want to say first off, thank you to everybody who's been donating to the Kickstarter for Tales of Shock and Terror. I mean, it's realistically going so great. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better run for my first ever crowdfunding experience, and we're pretty close to unlocking our next stretch goal. So, I mean, if anybody can go ahead, check that out, and at the very least, even share it. The link to it's pretty simple. There it is, right there. And I will also go ahead and make sure that I am throwing it into all of the chats. So if anybody is feeling like they want to contribute or share, please definitely feel free to. We definitely appreciate it. And I mean, we've all worked really hard on this, and we're trying to make the best project we can. But anyways, I don't want to talk about me all night, so I'm going to talk about somebody else. Good friend. I've had him on the show quite a few times. I met him, man, it's been a few years ago now. I mean, wow, it's actually kind of crazy how fast time flies by. Um, but technically, we're going to go ahead and introduce him as the CEO of Cutthroat Comics and Publishing, as well as my boss now, I guess you could say, Josh Nealis.
Get to work.
How's it going, buddy?
It's going really well.
I bet. I've been watching. So as I'm sitting there just saying it, and people are like, "Oh, what's he talking about?" Why don't you tell everybody exactly what is going on right now? What just happened?
Well, besides my new book dropping on Valentine's Day, Cocaine Stripper Stronghold, and besides Tales of Shock and Terror on Kickstarter right now going really well, my new comic book, Turkey Sharks #2, dropped on Kickstarter at 5:30 today, and it was fully funded in less than 45 minutes.
Which is amazing, man.
Yep.
Dude, that is killer. I mean, I'm super excited for you for sure, completely with that. And obviously I'm a contributor. I strongly suggest if anybody else can, I mean, check out what he has going on over there. There's no reason not to. And to see some of the cool things that he has happening with Turkey Sharks. I went ahead and I posted a link for Turkey Sharks 1 and 2 on there, which man, I mean, I'm kind of surprised you brought back Turkey Sharks 1 with it, but I still think it's a pretty cool idea, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people seem to do. You always throw in the other ones as well. Right. That way, if you catch new people, they can get caught up.
Right.
Like a buddy of mine, he does a book called Immortal Era, and his next Kickstarter starts next week or something. I was talking to him earlier. He was the first person to back Turkey Sharks, but yeah, he's doing 1 through 6. And that's just what he's laid on. So that's kind of what most people seem to do.
Right. David says, order in the court. Obviously, that's a reference to the Tales from the Crypt episode we watched. And Sean's joining us too. Hey, Sean, man. To give Sean a really small shout out real quick. For those who don't know, I haven't posted anything yet. And a few people have been contacted. But we are going to be doing another trivia contest. Just to give everybody an idea, Sean made these little fancy coasters for me. and
Oh,
it's a set of 6. They're all handmade, all real wood, cork, laser engraved, through Smithson Creations. I mean, dude does killer job. But we're gonna do another trivia contest, and he's actually donating a set of 6 custom coasters for the prize. And you get to pick the engraving for them. So if that's something you might be interested in, get a hold of me. Sometime later this week, well, probably early next week, I'll be making a post about it. But definitely a pretty cool prize and something that you don't get every day. But anyways, man, let's talk a little bit about this Turkey Sharks, dude. I mean, obviously, it just launched today. Not only have you been funded, you have already unlocked the first stretch goal as well.
I think so, right? I think
Oh
the
no,
first
you did. You
yeah
did.
first stretch goal was at 600, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So on top of having to sign all of my books,
Mm-hmm.
you have to sign all your books too now.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah. And the one of the things I thought was really funny about this is like our Kickstarters end one day apart.
that's what we were just saying. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You know
So
how shitty your hand's gonna feel after having to do all that?
yeah, I'll have to watch a couple hours of extra porn every day. That way I can get it not in good shape. And,
Strengthen it up.
you know,
I love it. I
you know,
do. I do.
Lucky's gonna be tired.
Right, right. And Sean gives us a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. That's greatly appreciated, though. So, anyways, the Turkey Sharks covers. I mean, wow. I mean, you did a really. I like how you can see it in the middle if you do that. Like, oh, um, I love these covers, man. Is there anything that you could tell us about these? And obviously, I'll go ahead and I'll pull them up real quick individually.
Yeah, if
But
you
I
want.
mean, you got your A cover, which I'm assuming is more like your standard one.
Yep, that's gonna be the main cover. And you know what? I was thinking about it today. Is like I love that cover. I mean, it's just like if you're walking by my table at a Comic Con or something, how are you not gonna like what stop and be like, what is this? Like,
No, no, it definitely catches your attention. There's
right.
no arguing that whatsoever, man.
You know, it's
You know,
Cristiano knocked it out of the park on that one, and I really don't like to change the color of logos and stuff that much, but when he had the original one up there, I was like, nah, let's make that pink, like hot pink, and it
right?
worked. It worked.
He's actually done quite a bit of work with you over the years too, hasn't he?
He's done every book, all the interiors, most of the covers. I mean, there's only been a handful of covers he hasn't done. So yeah, that dude's super talented.
Right. So talking about covers he hasn't done, this is actually we were talking earlier. This is actually one of my favorite covers of the new set.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to get this one too. I mean, for those who don't know, this is definitely a reference to your other cover with Zevo on there. I
Yep.
mean, so I mean, it's just a really, really cool thing there, and I love that. Can you tell us a little bit about that cover?
So yeah, that's the Tyler J. Haddix cover. Actually, he's messaging me right now.
Oh yeah.
We'll see if he's gonna hop on here. Um,
Well, you
but
know what? Let's go ahead and jump back to this one just in case. Okay.
yeah, we
You
can
know,
hold that one off.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Not a problem. We'll see if he decides to come on. This one, I mean, wow. Talking about taking it back to your childhood.
Yeah, this was a great one. I've known Sean Forney for a couple years now, and he did a short story for me in a book that's not out yet. And
Oh,
Rodney Fike is kind of his tag team partner on things. Also, a very talented artist. And I knew I wanted to get them on a cover, and I was talking to Sean, and we were trying to figure out what he wanted to do with this, and he was like, how about a Wildcats homage? And I was like, done. Right as soon as he said it, I was like, yes. So I went and I got my little my dry erase board, and I kind of drew up just my stick figures of which character would work well with the homage and stuff, and this is what we came up with, and it's fantastic. Like
I,
I love it.
yeah. I mean, it's a really fun one. That's for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's one of those that I think also really stick out for you when you go and actually have it sitting out there.
Yep. I
There's going
actually
to be a
have
whole age group of people that are going to be really interested just because of that cover
yep.
alone.
I've got a couple copies of Wildcats #1, and one of the copies I have is the gold store variant of that.
Really?
Yeah, it's like an incentive cover for stores and stuff. It's pretty cool.
That is really cool. And Heather says it's my favorite too.
Excellent.
Yes, definitely. There's some really cool ones there for sure. There really is. And we're not even done yet. So you also have the Kickstarter exclusive cover.
Yep.
What can you tell us about? What can you tell us about this one?
So one of the things I like on covers is when it shows a scene that happened in the comic, but the reader didn't get to see it, and that's kind of what this is. There's a scene where these guys are all together, and you can see the guy on the right there is a little deflated from the conversation they just had. And I wanted to get Photo Bomber's the guy on the left, Christian Wright is the guy on the right, and then in the middle is Bubble Bath. And I love his design. That's one of my favorite villains, and we really haven't seen him much yet. But I wanted to get these guys on a cover, and that's what Cristiano came up with. And I was like, well, that's going to be the Kickstarter exclusive cover. So that's the only way to get it. Once this Kickstarter is over, you'll never get that cover again.
And I will be getting mine. I made sure of that. That's for sure. And who knows? Maybe I'll get lucky enough where I'll get them personally hand delivered again.
You know what? You probably will. I gotta come up there anyway. So
I get it.
I'll save you a trip to your own house.
Yeah, just come over. We'll do coffee and lunch, and I like that idea. It's a lot better for sure. So I guess before give him a few more minutes, see if he's going to show up. Let's go ahead and talk about some of these stretch goals, because I mean, unfortunately, I don't have my stretch goals with me from the last one, which I have like the magnet and everything from last time.
Yep.
You personally know that because you gave it to me. But this time, I mean, you got quite a few new things that you're doing this time. I mean, you're doing the book signing, which is already done.
Already done. Awesome. We're already there. On our way to #2.
I mean, you're getting pretty close already. You're going to do the Turkey Sharks 2 script, which I'm kind of excited to, I know you're going to hit that goal. I'm really excited to see what that one's actually going to look like, because I know that you didn't do yours the way I did mine. So I'm kind of curious on how your process went.
Oh, my scripts are horrible. Like, they're not professional really at all. But it would be funny, even for me, because the book's almost done now. It'd be funny for me to even go back and look at the script and be like, oh, we changed, because we changed the dialogue and stuff as we're kind of going through. Actually, in this one, there was quite a few dialogue changes, so it'll be funny to look at it and go, oh, that's what it was supposed to be.
Right.
So that's what people will get. They'll get the original script without the changes.
Well, that's really cool.
And then as we get through, I mean, we got a bunch of magnets here. And the Turkey Sharks magnet, that's the same one from the other Kickstarter. I got a bunch left over. I'm going to get rid of those. Sorry, I'm being cheap. But
it's okay. Yeah. I added free stickers to every order with mine because I have 900 stickers.
Right. It's something free. Yeah. But these other magnets, Zebo, Blasphemer, Mark and Ray, those are going to be funny. And they tie into the book. Nobody has seen those but myself and Cristiano. It's something he just kind of, it was part of the script, and then he kind of went off on his own little tangent and made a bunch of them.
Oh, wow. But, I was going to ask you if there was any way where we can see somewhat of a teaser of some of these magnets, but, some things are better left as just being surprised from the, yeah, definitely.
Let's just say if you like the Ninja Turtles.
I do.
And you like, how do I want to put this?
I really like Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. It's a Ninja Turtles thing, sort of. You'll see. I'll show you. You.
Oh, all right. For sure. I'm gonna love that. That's awesome.
They're gonna be really cool though.
I'm sure. Oh, I'm excited to see this all. I hope you get all those goals, and once again, I mean, I've already thrown the Kickstarter out there. Please check out what he has go. Oh, never mind. That's the wrong one.
Jeez, I see what you're doing here. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Promote your own stuff.
They both help you.
How dare you promote me in 2 different ways?
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, please, everyone, go check out what he has going on here. I mean, he's doing such an awesome job with this stuff. Actually, funny comment. So, Josh, you remember a while back when we actually had our first discussion about Zebo and what I said to you?
You refresh my memory.
Okay. Well, basically the same thing that's in this comment. Zebo was the name of the antagonist in Are You Afraid of the Dark episode. Laughing in the dark.
Okay, I remember you saying that now.
Yeah. It's just funny that somebody else also noticed it.
Wasn't it a clown or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, this was just the first name that popped in my head when I was coming up with this stupid homeless robot. So
I mean, you did a really good job with it, that's for sure.
He's a funny character. You know, it's kind of funny. I was thinking earlier today, I was like, people really like Zebo, and I was like, I'm mad that people like Zebo because I want them to like the other characters. But then I'm like, wait a minute, like I came up with this character. Why am I mad that they like this character? It's still
right.
Character.
Right. They're still liking something that you did regardless.
It's just like when somebody's like, oh, I like Wolverine over Gambit. It's like, oh, how dare you? But then I'm like, wait, they're both my characters. Why? Who they like?
I can't blame anybody for liking Wolverine over Gambit personally.
I love Gambit more.
There's a lot of people that love Gambit. I get it. I do. Yeah. Maybe it's just more because I never really got super heavily into the X-Men, and I've always been more of like the horror comic guy. But either way. So doesn't seem like he's going to be showing up anytime soon. At least
he said give him 1 minute. Is what he said.
Okay. All right. So I guess we'll go ahead and talk a little bit more about some of the other things that we're going to be doing for this episode, and we're going to save that conversation about the Zebo cover, at least for the time being. So, Josh, man, I had you watch an episode of Tales from the Crypt with me.
You did.
Oh man, and what an episode! I think this is actually probably one of the better ones of recent time. So I'll go ahead and I'll go through some of the intro stuff, and hopefully you'll be here before I get into the meat of it. So with this episode, it is titled House of Horror, based off of the comic book Tales from the Crypt, and it's issue number 21. And I mean, we got a great cast in it. Before I go ahead and get into the cast of it, let's go ahead and introduce Tyler J. Haddix. How's it going, Tyler?
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Doing great, man. How about yourself?
Man, it's been a heck of a day so far today. So happy to be here.
I bet, dude. I guess good to go ahead and kind of jump into things, man. First off, thank you for making an appearance on here. I mean, greatly appreciated. That's for sure. I love your work with everything that's, I've been seeing so far for sure. Now I do want to go ahead and we were deciding to wait till you got here, but I've been asking Josh basically, some of the ideas and the thought process behind these covers, and we've already went through all of them except for one. So I was curious on your thought process and everything that was going on while you were creating this, which, don't get me wrong, like I showed earlier, of all the covers from the last comic book, I do really like this one quite a bit, and I really do like the Zebo character. So I mean, it's definitely a personal favorite of mine. I haven't been able to go through the entire thing, but I mean, I really love everything that that cover is so far. But what was going on when you made that?
Well, I mean, like I pitched Josh quite a few ideas with this one. And just like a couple little like thumbnail-y pictures or whatever. But Zebo was one of those characters that just kind of stuck out to me. And I could have some fun with him. And he happened to be in this issue. So that was kind of a bigger deal too. There's a couple other characters I love too, just like the squirrel.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, just random things that I pick out personally that I like. And Zebo kind of stuck out. He was like, "Yeah, you could do him. He's awesome, but you could do the Zebo cover too. I think that one would be cool." And I got to have. I like playing on words and things like that. So on his sign or signs, it's got a couple little nerdy phrases there.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I don't know how clean your show is, but it's a little dirty.
You can basically say anything and everything that you'd like to on this show. I mean, I did an episode where we reviewed Double Dragon, and for the background we had a GIF image of Alyssa Milano's ass walking for the entire hour and a half. There's literally nothing that you can't say or do on here that hasn't been done before.
Right on. But
I challenge you, in fact.
Well, there's there, you know, it was I don't know, like there's a big inner nerd in me, and a lot of people don't get that side of me, so I got to play on that a little bit. Josh just kind of let me run with it. So Zeebo's like a homeless robot that's an alcoholic, and my brain takes me to like cooking. You know, like if it got really bad, like what would he have to do in order to continue his process along? And so he's got a sign that says use my input for or output for input, which I it's a backdoor play, along with the sign on the ground actually has a thing on it that says hardware backdoor compatible instead of backwards compatible. So I don't know. I was kind of playing around, and he's got some stains and stuff on his face that are suspect. So
I love it. I also love the liquor bottle in the bag.
Oh yeah, that goes with the character 100%. I had to put that in.
Yeah. I mean, that image is definitely it definitely takes up the other Zeebo to like a whole new level. You know.
Well, I mean some of the things that like Josh sent me some snapshots of issue 2. I won't try to give anything away because I'd like people to like dive into their own little world with it. But yeah, I didn't take the character too far out of where he was actually at. So
no,
it's not too far. It's not a leap. I wouldn't.
Yeah, there's no stretches here.
Well, to be fair, some of these are, some of these images and stuff. I mean, you see this cover, you're like, oh, this is going to be just a fun, lighthearted thing.
Yeah.
Josh could write some pretty adult themed things, so it does not surprise me in the least bit. I have quite a collection of Josh's work personally, and I've seen everything from his happier, lighter side to his darker side. So he has a vast amount of genres that he can cover as well as topics, for sure. But it's I'm excited to see everything, man. I'm stoked that like you said, I mean, you guys like $631 so far. You are less like what? Well, your next goal is 750. So I mean, you're just getting that fucking like that's amazing, dude. I mean, and what realistically, it hasn't even been 5 hours yet. I mean, you're just barely coming up to 5 hours right now.
Yep.
And you're well over. I mean, congratulations. And, I will also go ahead and point out, I did not get to really see it. Now, I wonder now, Tyler, I don't know if this is something in your possession that you can show, but there was a painting that went up for sale. And I know that was something that kind of like really helped push over a lot of the stuff. And I mean, that was gone like instantly, damn near.
It was fast. It was like 10, 15 minutes, I think. Something like
that. I was kind of shocked. I do have, like my own little following and stuff like that that's been super supportive. So big shout out to everybody from my crew that came in to help back the project too. I was one of the people, I think she knows actually both of us. Right? I'm sure she's met Josh before over at like Monroe Comic-Con.
I'm not really sure, honestly. No? I mean, maybe.
Hey, I remember like it was one of our mutual followers when we were doing that little OnlyFans adventure that we had going on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like when we first met.
Platinum member. Oh, you do that? I don't even know. I've never been on that site.
but fair enough. Yeah, I don't have that with me at the moment. I do have that.
You mentioned the Monroe one because that's actually where I met Josh.
Yep.
Oh, no kidding! Right on. Yeah, I've been going there for I think the past 6 years or so, and then this upcoming year I actually missed out on the sign up that filled up kind of fast. So
Oh, so I've probably seen you there then.
yeah, last year was kind of or last appearance was a little rough.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot going on last year. I didn't. Fair enough. I wasn't able to actually make it last year, but I made it the last few before that.
We might be able to get you there for like a signing or something on one of the days for a couple hours or something if you want.
I'm all down for that, man.
Signing or something.
Participate in a different capacity.
Yeah, I think JB's going to be at that one doing signing his books that we'll have, and have you swing by too if you want.
Yeah, and in fact, I was going to tell you earlier. Go ahead and let Gary know that I'll be there too.
Yeah.
I'll definitely go ahead and be there with that. But so anyways, I mean, we've obviously we'll touch the Kickstarter a little bit more at the end. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Tyler, but I was kind of informed that you might have actually watched this episode as well.
Oh yeah. I checked it out. It's been forever since I've seen Tales from the Crypt, man. So I just kind of had to dive in, and to be honest, I mean, just first an initial thing, I'm like, wow, the acting on this is actually spectacular.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and get into it then, right away. But like, yeah, the acting in this one is good. I mean, first off, we got it being directed by Bob Gale in this episode. And for those who don't know, Interstate 60, he wrote Back to the Future, all of the Back to the Future movies. I mean, he's a pretty big deal. He did the story for Bordello of Blood. He wrote quite a bit of, the TV show Back to the Future. I mean, Back to the Future is like his main thing, realistically. But let's be honest, that's probably one of the greatest films ever written. Then on top of just having him in this, I mean, we got a great cast as well. We have Keith Coogan, Michael DeLuise, Courtney Gaines, Brian Cross, Will Wheaton, Jason Landon. A hell of a fucking cast for a Tales from the Crypt episode.
Kevin Dillon was what got me. I love Kevin Dillon. I'm a big Entourage fan. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, I'm in.
Yeah, see, and this is where my inner nerd's gonna show. Once I saw Will Wheaton in it, but whatever. To each their own. I've actually never seen Entourage, to be honest with you.
Oh, it's a good show, man. It's like Sex and the City, but for guys.
Yeah, I typically just watch scary stuff. Usually there has to be something really fucked up in it for me to watch it. But
it's a good show, man.
I might have to check it out. I might have to. I've been trying to broaden my my viewings, to say the least, and
a couple.
You really sold it with that Sex in the City part.
Yep. Yeah. I heard that's a really good show.
I think I watched like the first season of that because my mom had it on DVD. And that's when I was like really poor. I didn't have cable. So I was like, I guess I'll watch this. I was like, Mom, I'm borrowing this.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
it wasn't horrible, but whatever. I mean, there's naked girls and stuff sometimes. So,
I mean, that helps.
Hey. Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons that I got personally into Tales from the Crypt, because I mean, sometimes there's naked girls in there too. But anyways, to go ahead and give the basic idea of the story, we have a group of pledges in a college fraternity, and they're basically going through hell. We got the guy doing the pledges and everything is, making people clean up dog shit and kiss his shoe that had dog shit on it. I mean, some pretty nasty things, but eventually it gets to the point where the sorority house is kind of like wanting to have like a partnership with this fraternity, and it ends up leading them to where they're doing like a pledge challenge. And for this challenge, they're going through this haunted house, and they have a whole made up backstory to it. And as they're going through this, crazy kind of shit just starts to happen. See a guy with an axe going through, and they kind of give off the impression that some of these pledges are being murdered as they're going up the steps and everything. And then by the time we get to the last one, we realize that this, the reason this is happening is because one of the old pledges that got harassed and did not end up, made their wall of shame, if you will, was basically letting people, making sure that they weren't saying anything and acting like they weren't getting to the top and just scaring the shit out of everybody. And as after you see this happen and everything, we get that pledge guy going right back up to the attic to actually go and collect these people. And as he does, the sorority house is there, and they're actually they're a bunch of ghouls, and they were eating the people, and they throw his head down, and it basically ends the episode, which is pretty good. I will say though, I like to do a comic book comparison, and I don't go like super into detail. I literally just do a comparison of the differences between the actual issue and the comic book itself. And with this one right here, I mean, realistically, there wasn't like a huge amount about this one that was like too different. Like, I say that, but there were some pretty big differences, to be honest. So the main plot of like a fraternity house and a haunted house, I think, was there, but there was no sorority involved whatsoever. So there were no girls, there were no ghouls, none of that happened. Um, and instead of starting out in the beginning where like the pledges are kind of like going through a bunch of bullshit, none of that happened either. Like this is based off of a 6-page comic story that starts with them going to this haunted house. And basically what ends up happening is when they go into this house, 2 of the pledges ended up disappearing and nobody knows what happened to them. And by the time the third guy goes up there, they end up running in there and trying to figure out what's going on. And the third one has aged dramatically. His hair's turned white and he's kind of went insane and they don't know what happened. They can't find the other 2 people. And a week after the incident, they decide to go ahead and burn down the haunted house. And that's literally it. So House of Horror on a comic book format is way more basic and straight to the point. There's no ghouls. It's just literally about a haunted house. And I guess when we get into our thoughts about the episode or whatever, we can talk about it a little bit more. But personally, I think it was done better with the comic book, with having it being so mysterious around the aspect. And that's one thing about horror that I like in general, is how you don't have to go into full detail about why something happened, and it kind of amplifies the creepy factor of that. But
Oh yeah.
Anyways, David's chiming in quite a bit, and yes, the Crypt Keepers outfits for this were great, doing like the whole judge type thing, even though it really didn't fit in. It was like they were kind of like really stretching for what to do with the Crypt Keeper segments in this one. And yeah, Kevin Dillon was in 2 remakes. He was in the Blob and Poseidon Adventures. Yeah. He's talking about the comic book has like a slasher theme, which kind of in a way, kind of more of like a Texas Chainsaw type slasher theme. But yeah, for sure. And that's only the cover of the comic that was actually used for the episode. That's not the cover of the comic itself. And yeah, they did do like the whole reference to Animal House with the name of it being Delta Omega Alpha, which is also interesting anyway. But anyways, I am curious on what everyone thought about this. And Tyler, this is your first time on, man. So I will let you know that we do a grading thing on there, 1 through 10, 10 being the best. We'll let Josh lead off. He's been on a few times. So what did you think about this one, man?
Yeah, I mean, it was all right. I've actually forgotten which episodes I've watched now since I've been on your show a handful of times. I remember like the first one.
Stop putting out comic books so often where you're promoting all the time. It's your own fault. No.
Yeah, I can't remember what the other ones I've watched is. Yeah, I like Will Wheaton and Kevin Dillon, and I think the guy from Charmed was one of the guys, wasn't he?
I'm not sure who was on Charmed.
The other guy, one of the other guys was on Charmed, I believe.
Not sure. Was it Jason Landon?
Was he on Charmed? I don't know his name. He does cons and shit all the time, but
a lot of these people do cons.
Yeah, the story was fine. You're always looking for that little twist, and It's I love Kevin Dillon, so I was totally on board the whole time. And if you've never seen No Escape, which he's in with Ray Liotta, that's one of the most underrated movies of all time, I
Yeah.
think. That movie's fantastic. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was light, you know. I think the very first one you had me watch was that one where the guy like fakes his death or something and gets a nose job or something.
I'm trying. There's a couple where he fakes his death.
Yeah,
Is it the one that Arnold did, where he's like changing like his whole body slowly?
I feel like Joe Pantoliano was in it or something.
God, that doesn't help. Joey Pants did like 7
Yeah,
episodes.
I don't. But yeah, I mean, this one was a little more light-hearted. Had some blue tones to it, which I thought was. It felt like the whole episode kind of had some blue tones to it. So that was all
Yeah,
right.
definitely did.
Was one of the pledges? Was that Kenny from Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead?
Yeah.
Yeah. And just so you know, Meredith Salinger, who plays Mona,
Mhm.
that's the female cop from Lake Placid. If you recognized her as well.
No, I did not recognize her. I've seen that movie like once, I think. It was all right.
I've seen Lake Placid so many times. I just assume everybody else has also watched it like 20, 30 times. Yeah. But no. Anyways, go ahead, man. Where would you put this one as far as like a rating scale?
I might give it like a 5 or a 6, probably.
That's fair. I will say that IMBD actually rates this as probably one of the higher rated episodes. That's Tales from the Crypt. This one got a 7.3, which is interesting. Tyler, man, what did you think about this episode, man?
I don't know. The IMBD rating is about where I was going to put it. I was going to put it about a 7. What really ruins it for me about most Tales of the Crypt episode is the plot twist at the end. Right. Some of them, like, okay, there's a lot of creativity and stuff that goes behind it, and I can always appreciate those creative processes. But for this one, I don't know. It was kind of like a surprise because that's not what I was expecting. Right. It wasn't who I was expecting to be like the twist. But then they that's where like the acting really busted it for me because are we allowed to ruin the episode? For people?
Yeah, I feel that this episode came out in 93.
Like they should have watched
if
it.
you haven't watched it in the last 29 years, like at this point, it's your own fault.
Okay, fair. Yeah. All right. So the ladies at the end, their acting kind of busted it for me. They were like trying to be like this extra creepy, and I just didn't read it like that. Even though like what they were doing obviously was shocking, if you will. But yeah, so the ending kind of busted it for me. Up until that, I actually was into it for like what it was. I had never seen that episode before, and it completely kicked in some nostalgia factors and stuff for me. So maybe now I could appreciate it more than I would have at that time.
Right.
So I definitely dug into it, man. Like I said, I haven't watched Tales from the Crypt since I was, I don't know, 12 or 13, man. It scared the shit out of me too. Like when I was watching it late at night by myself in the basement, and like, I don't know, it just got like the hairs on my neck racing up. And like now when I watch the stuff, I'm like, man, that's funny.
Yeah, it definitely has a cheesy factor to it, and it's
yeah.
I was actually going to ask you, where did you get your start watching it? So obviously it was sneaking and watching it, but
yeah. It's most of the stuff. Cool. I mean, that and porn, it was one or the other.
Fair enough.
Never really changed, but I haven't seen Tales of the Crypt in like 29 years, if that makes any sense to you.
Right, and you never saw that porn. The twist doesn't bother you in that either, though.
Oh no, man, they can't catch me off guard with that. I'm like, yeah, I see where this is going.
Right. Yeah, it's weird because the ending of porn never really has a twist. It's always kind of the same thing.
Yeah, you kind of know what's going to happen.
All of a sudden, he's
a really good idea.
Like, I'm done.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, bye guys. No.
And you said you'd give this episode around a 7. You said?
Yeah, actually, like I genuinely enjoyed it. There's a lot of like the scripting and stuff that just kind of seemed to flow really well too. And like I've seen some really horrible acting with Tales from the Crypt even episodes, and this wasn't one of them for me. Like I could see why these guys went somewhere else after the fact.
Well, I mean, when you look at the like the actual people behind Tales from the Crypt, because first off, the producers for Tales from the Crypt were Gilbert Adler, Alexander Collette, Richard Donner, David Giller, Walter Hill, A.L. Katz, Joel Silver, Robert Zemeckis, Scott um, Nimmerfro. I mean, realistically, anybody who made anything that was worth a fuck from like the mid 70s to like the 2000s, they were producers from this show.
Right on.
So, if you did something here, you basically were going to be doing it for scale to begin with, which when I had Timothy Stacks on, that's what he said he got paid. And, Timothy Stacks has done quite a bit of acting. So if he's getting scale, I'm basically pretty sure that's, how it ran across for most of that. But you got the opportunity to work with these great producers, and basically they were going to help further your career. I mean, they made every huge movie back in the day. Everything from Superman to fucking Goonies.
Right on. Yeah.
So, it was amazing. With this episode, personally, I'm gonna have to actually agree with you, Tyler. I'm gonna have to give this like a solid 7.
Yeah, screw you, Josh.
Sorry.
Well,
I mean, I
fair.
won't argue with that.
Like I watch a lot of these episodes, and I kind of try to rate them against other episodes and where it is, because like I can't really go and take a Tales from the Crypt episode and kind of rate it against like the original Texas Chainsaw or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're on like a whole different kind of scale. But as far as Tales from the Crypt goes, I feel like this is a solid 7. I mean, we got a great cast, we got great special effects. Which I mean, the special effects makeup for like the skulls and the blood and everything, that was Todd Masters, who, I mean, that dude's done a killer job with everything that he's ever done, and I absolutely love his work. He was the guy that did like the new Child's Play. He's done actually what Slither was one of his other ones that was really cool.
The one that the James Gunn Slither.
The one with the monsters and stuff. And it was like
didn't James Gunn
was that James Gunn that did
or write it or something? I thought he had something to do with that.
I wouldn't be surprised if he wrote it. James Gunn wrote a lot of things that you would never kind of guess that he was the one behind it writing. Because I'm pretty sure he was the one that wrote the Dawn of the Dead remake. And even though I really dislike Zack Snyder's directing, when James Gunn does any of his stuff, I mean, it's good. Ron says, yeah, he directed Slither.
Okay, yeah.
Ron would know, that's for sure.
That's where him and Michael Rooker are friends from. And that's why he's in everything that James Gunn does, basically.
Right, makes sense, definitely. But I mean, this episode's it's a lot of fun. I will say I do really like the mysteriousness of the comic book and kind of like not really giving everything away and kind of like showing the ghouls, because the ghouls and the girls in there, I mean, it was kind of lacking. The makeup that they used for the ghouls, I mean, it wasn't as good as some of the stuff that they've already done before. I wasn't really too impressed with that. Kind of agreeing with what Tyler said with that. I think if they kind of just like would have had it just been a little bit more mysterious and kind of had just like everyone just kind of going insane and people just disappearing and never being there again, I think it would have had like a different dynamic to the episode, and it probably would have ended up being a bit scarier. I can see why they kind of shifted away from that, because at this point with Tales from the Crypt, they had to have that cheesy kind of vibe too to get people to laugh as well. But overall, I think a 7's fair for this one. It was a fun one. It was a good episode. I can't complain. It's no Lower Berth, but it's still pretty good. I've seen way worse, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, dude, I want to first off thank both of you, especially Tyler. I mean, this was kind of a last minute thing to have you jump on with us today and everything. And I will say,
yeah, sorry, I like brain farted. I took a nap because I was blasted from 9 to 5, and no, yeah, it's like 10:30. It's 10:30, and I'll just cover with Josh that it's 10 o'clock.
No, you are completely fine. I mean, I do want to say thank you to both of you. I mean, it's amazing to be able to have both of you on here and be able to talk about everything. Josh, I mean, obviously I love having you on, man. You're a great friend. You're a good guy. Now, anyways, before I go ahead and start wrapping this up, though, I am going to go ahead and share the Kickstarter one more time. And why don't you tell everybody, Tyler first, why don't you go ahead and tell everyone where they can find you and follow you at?
Pissed Off, or PYSTOFF. That's on Facebook and Instagram. Those are my art pages. So Instagram.com/pissed off, and then Facebook.com/pissed off. Both of those will take you to my art pages. I'm Tyler J on Facebook because my current 9 to 5 has like a no social media policy thing going on. So it's a way to kind of disguise and hide from them, so to speak.
I get it.
Because I have deniability, if you will.
No,
not that's a big deal, but it can't associate with them and that kind of stuff. So that's fine. And I love my job. So, but yeah, that's where you could find me on the art pages. They could follow on there. They could friend request me. I think I only got like 1,500 friends. I think I got 3,500 or something like that to go before they stop letting me have people. I think you can have like 5K in friends.
I think so,
if you're really that interested in who I am or what I do and that kind of stuff on just a regular basis, cool. Shoot me a friend request. I'm all for it. What was the other question you had for me? Oh, there was one thing I wanted to say about that specific cover that I did for Josh on this one. So it's Turkey Sharks 2, and this is my first oil painted cover. I just got into oils maybe 4 weeks now, and normally I do it all acrylic, so I gave it a nice smooth transition.
You've been only doing that for 4 weeks, and that's the cover he got.
For the oil painting, I've already been painting. I've been an artist my whole life, man. So
yeah, but I mean, still though, I mean that's impressive.
So yeah, whoever gets that original art, man, they can say, 200 years from now, they pass it down to their grandkids and stuff. Be like, this is Tyler's very first ever oil painting.
We'll see if they get the jokes at that time. I think technology might change, and maybe they don't have inputs and outputs. Everything floats.
Come on. There's always going to be hooker references in everything in the world. I mean, we could take it back like 1,000 years, and there's still hooker references. So, like,
well, see, this one is
going anywhere.
This one is the first dick pickable remark book that I've ever put out there too. So, like, normally I hide like little penis images inside like special commission books that they have me do, where they have me remark them and stuff. I've been waiting for CGC or CBCS to pick up on that and say, hey, there's a hidden penis on page 3. But so far they haven't given me the shout out with the interior remark. Maybe it's in the note comment.
Were you just like really, really influenced by Geiger?
I'm not familiar with this. Who's Geiger?
A lot of dicks. He's the guy that created some of the stuff for like the alien designs, and then
I'm just playing around, man.
Oh, okay. Right.
No, not an influence. I think more of my influence was like super bad, man. Like,
okay. Fair enough. Yeah. Geiger was too blunt with the dicks.
I've had that same kind of fascination, man. I really related with that character.
hey, it's still funny. Now I feel the need to like go through and try to find more of your work and just look for dicks.
Yeah. You're gonna have to actually like pick up like one of the graded books and open it. Like about 95% of them have dicks in the inside.
Really?
Yeah, because they're graded, so like they'll never open them. Yeah. But I want CGC to like be like, "Hey, dick on page 3 in the notes," and the like grader notes.
That'd be funny.
I like the idea of it. I like the idea that you just haven't even like nobody's even noticed it yet. Like
it's kind of getting to me. There's a couple of people have some raw copies of where if they open them up, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" But apparently nobody's read those books. They just like
a message to CGC and be like, "Hey, I don't think you're even reading these damn things." Like,
yeah, you're supposed to check every page. I thought, right?
I love that.
At least count them to make sure they're there. I'm just gonna start drawing the dicks right on the numbers.
Yeah. Right. At the end, just have a random number sitting to the side, and that random number is how many dicks are throughout the whole book. Don't even say what the number's for. It's just that's how many dicks are in the book.
right on the back of it.
Right. Yeah. You know, let like your social media followers know. So it could be like, "Where's Waldo?" But we look for as many dicks as we can find in every book. I love it. I love it. You'd
I
have
like
to
where
come
your
up with
brain's
the
at.
right.
You're improving my process. I appreciate that a lot.
No problem. I mean, if somebody's gonna put dicks in books, I mean, like I'm all about trying to help them out.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So,
Me too.
hell, in fact, I've been trying to talk our buddy Ron, who's the one that said James Gunn should direct Slither. I really want him to be able to do like a tuck dance video for the Kickstarter. So like if somebody donates, you know, like $400 or $500, you get a video of Ron doing the tuck dance from, you know, like Buffalo Bill tuck dance, you know, tuck his dick in and yeah. He refuses, and in fact, he's actually commented more than once about how he does not appreciate me trying to sell his dick live on the air. But
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be showing unless he like tuck tail and turn around or something.
right. So Ron, if you're still listening, it's
Mangina.
not showing unless you turn around. Oh God, he's gonna get pissed off at me. I'm gonna get a message later, I'm sure.
So,
I backed this idea 100%. I'm going to give him a shout out on my page real quick.
It's too big to do the tuck dance, and you should know that, baby.
Nice.
Oh God.
well played.
I
Well
think you
played.
can still do it. I think you still do it.
Yeah, like how do you put a leg completely behind another leg? It just doesn't work. Same.
Hey, I say go for it still. Or if at the very least start an OnlyFans account and donate half your proceeds to the comic book. So
Yeah, that's funny. It's on me and Josh Matt. He actually hit me out because he was watching my OnlyFans. And like after you subscribe to somebody, you can actually send them messages and stuff requesting special things or whatever. And I mean, I wasn't doing anything like super risque or anything. It was like some really high quality art, just me naked. And
It was like the Rocker, except you weren't playing drums. You were painting.
I'm completely screwed up, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine. See, if I were you, I would have took it a little bit more weird. I would have been like, yeah, you got a hold of me, and he really liked in my, you know, all my sounding videos. You know? Really mess with everybody. But, you know,
I was going to take it really far, but I'm like, wait a minute. What if somebody cuts out right in the middle of that? Nah.
No, I don't know. I think I probably took it farther than you would have thought of taking it right away. So,
It's okay. It's okay. I was talking about D remarks and stuff, so
it's cool. I'm down with anything.
it's not really a great marketing strategy though, because most people don't want those. I don't get it.
They might.
Like if Clayton Crane was doing like a D signature, I'd be like, yeah,
Right.
all my books, bro. Here you go, and I'd pay that $60-$80 for that sig.
Yeah.
I've noticed that most people don't really know what they want until they have it. So it's better to almost choose what they want.
Yeah, I tell women that all the time.
Are you married?
No.
Oh, I love it. Anyways, Josh, dude, obviously I know that everyone can find you at cutthroatcomics.com. I mean, tell everybody where they can find you. I mean, everybody, if you're also listening to this on the podcast forum when it comes out on podcast, all these links are going to be available on in the show notes. And so Tyler, Josh, I already have yours, but Tyler, I'll add you on Facebook so you can send those over to me as well.
Right, that sounds good.
But where can everyone find you? And if there's anything else that you want to add about the Kickstarter or anything else that you are working on.
Yeah, I mean, Tales of Shock and Terror is still going. We all know about that.
I wasn't going to promote myself, but thank you.
I'm good. I want to see that campaign hit $1,000. That's my goal for you guys. I'd love to see that. That would make me very happy. Then of course, Turkey Sharks 1 and 2. You guys missed out on Tyler's original art. Somebody snatched that up quick as shit. And
I wish we could have seen it. Have you shipped it out yet?
Oh,
no. I have the OA still. I just don't have it with me.
Yeah.
It's dry and it's oil. So like in order to make sure I can meet that requirement and everything, I'm going to have to seal it.
Fair enough.
So I got to make sure that the thing is dry all the way through before I can put a sealer on, or else it'll bubble.
Do you guys plan on at least posting a picture of it before you send it out? Just curious.
Yeah, I can do that, dude.
All
I
right,
kind
all
of
right.
showed a couple people on my live stream yesterday, just little blips of it. I wasn't trying to do the whole on
All right. Well,
thing, but
now the fact that it's actually sold, like I'm just curious to see what it is.
it's what the image on the comic book. It's almost exactly like
Oh, is
that.
it? Okay.
The colors were tweaked and stuff, just to enhance those things because you don't always get the like the saturations there, but you don't always get the highlight the way you want it to without modifying it slightly. So it
That's
is slightly tweaked for saturation purposes, like color, like I don't know, just to make the colors pop a little bit more.
pretty cool.
But yeah,
Pretty cool. All right,
I'll
man.
send you the link to, or I'll send you the actual image of it too.
Oh, thank you. And just so you know, Ron says Neil Adams' signature is a dick signature because Neil Adams is a dick.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, same could be said about a few people out there. Rob
Yeah.
Liefeld.
yeah, more than likely. Anyways, Josh, go ahead, continue. I'm sorry about that, buddy.
So it's OnlyFans, PYSTOFF, OnlyFans / off. OnlyFans, Cutthroat Comics, probably. I may have to go get that actually. And make sure.
Is that all the sounding videos?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's a sounding video, dude?
Yeah.
You got me with this one. I'm not familiar.
Is that like
Oh,
farting
God.
in people's faces or something?
Huh?
Is that like farting in people's faces and like?
No. All right. First off, I learned about it because of a radio station I listen to here. You guys are Michigan people, Toledo people, Dave and Chuck the Freak.
Oh
But,
yeah.
Sounding is like these kind of like how people have gauged ears and they have like those tapered things that they put in to kind of like stretched out.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
sounding would kind of be similar, but they're long rods, and you're shoving them in your dick hole.
Oh, like a tuning fork. Nice.
You basically without two prongs, just one. But yeah,
So your urethra stretcher.
yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
I love the fact that I had to explain that on the air. Oh God!
Bring out the best in people.
I would want to do that. I don't think, aside from the pain, but that just.
Wait, try it out for me real quick. Let me know how it goes, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when you pee, it would just like fall out like a
little waterfall.
something.
Like how awesome would that be to make that vent of peeing just like a quick partial second? Just go bleh,
Right.
and it's done.
Yeah. And Ron says,
Sounds fun to me.
farting in people's faces is called pulling a jack.
Fair enough.
Oh, nice.
It's definitely a reference to somebody Ron and I know who.
Holy crap!
Anyways, Josh.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Your OnlyFans.
Yeah, Cutthroat Comics. I mean, just Google Cutthroat Comics and whatever pops up, just follow it. I mean, that's. Yeah.
Not the first one though. The second one, right?
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah, the second one.
Trying to get the TikTok going. I've been trying to get that thing popping off. So if you want to follow me on TikTok, that'd be cool, I guess.
Right, and I mean, obviously, your TikTok's actually pretty cool. I mean, you do quite a bit on there. I follow you on basically all formats.
Yeah, I'm trying to do different things on. I don't just talk about comics on any of my pages and stuff. So, I talk about relationships a lot because I'm a writer. I'm interested in relationships, so I talk about that and really whatever else, nerd shit.
Right. No, I mean, you have quite a bit that you're doing, quite a bit that you're going on. And, I will say that one of the things that I can personally add to this is to check out his website, which I've posted everywhere, cutthroatcomics.com/comics. Go there, check out his shop. I mean, Josh has a huge selection of stuff on there. And even if you don't even have like a lot of money per se, and you still want to get a large amount of shit, I mean, Josh has you're still doing the flash drives, correct?
Yeah, got some of those.
Right. Well, I noticed that I wasn't seeing those on your actual. Oh, there they are.
They're in the store.
Yeah. So for like what you got, $30 and a $50 pack there?
Yeah, I think it's $30 gets you all the novels or all the comics, and I think $50 gets you like literally everything I've written, which is like 20 things. I mean, that's a friggin' deal. It's all PDFs, but that's a deal. I mean, that's hours and hours and hours of reading and pictures.
Oh
and,
yeah.
I mean,
No, I mean, It's actually it's a lot, from somebody who actually like I don't have every novel. I have probably 80% of your novels.
I don't know which ones you don't have. You've got most of them. You don't have Stronghold. I know that because that's brand
No,
new.
I do not have that one yet. To be fair, I have been buying a lot of stuff to prepare for Tales of Shock and Terror. I mean, long boxes, bags, boards, Gemini box. You know how it is.
Oh yeah.
So I've been, a little short on funds at the moment, but I do have every comic book. I can guarantee that one. Which, yeah, I do have those. But I mean, his work's awesome. I mean, go check it out there. I mean, the digital stuff is pretty cool. Obviously, if you're a fan of comic books, you're gonna really like to have some of the stuff that's like original print there. And I mean, Josh is just fucking killing it. It's worth checking out. I can't really speak for Cocaine Stripper Stronghold, but I can say that Hellscape was actually a really fun read. I actually really did like that one.
Oh, good. That might be the next thing I write is the sequel. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the next thing I'm going to do is.
Really? Well, I mean, you know me personally. I'm obviously more attracted to like the darker side of stuff. So,
yeah, well, Cocaine Stripper Stronghold is definitely horror. So if most of your fans are probably horror people, that's going to be the one. It's very gross. There's like zombie sex and all kinds of like gore and maiming.
Reminds me of Bob's Burgers with Tina's fan fiction or friend fiction stuff that she did with the zombies. And
yeah, it's their shit. If somebody else has written anything like that, I would be pretty fucking surprised. It's pretty messed up. That's for sure.
Oh, I'm gonna get it. It's just a matter of time. I will end up with it. I'm sure of that. But anyways, I definitely want to thank both of you for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having us, man. It's awesome.
Oh, for sure. And please, everyone, support indie artists, indie comic book artists, indie authors. I mean, without people supporting it and kind of helping these projects come out, I mean, they wouldn't come out. That simple. I will say, first off, with Josh's, like, I'm 100% not really surprised personally that his is actually doing as good as it is. I mean, he's getting really close to his next stretch goal already. But I am more surprised definitely with the other book that's coming out through Cutthroat, the Tales of Shock and Terror. That's a first time due for most of us involved, minus Josh, and that's like over 200% funded. So I definitely want to say thank you to everybody, and thank you to everyone who's been following everything that's going on with Cutthroat Comics. I mean, it's fucking amazing. And Josh, I mean, I've told you this many times, but speaking for this whole group collectively, thank you for pointing us in the right direction and pretty much picking us up and taking us along for the ride too with you.
Yeah, it's a fun ride. And just like I told you the other day, man, it's cool that other people get to see what artists like myself and Tyler put into this shit, because it's not, you don't just poof, the shit just doesn't fucking appear. I mean, you have to put in the time. And,
yeah. I told you I was ready to do it, and I was dedicated.
Yeah, you guys are doing great. I'm proud of you guys. I think it's 52% funded is what you were saying last I saw, and that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. We would do a lot better if Ron would share it every single day and get like 15 more sales for us. And
he is gonna fucking send you a mail bomb.
I love it. But thank you guys so much. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up. If you guys have to go, I understand. If not, feel free to just sit there as soon as we get done. But thank you all for tuning in. Thanks everyone for checking this out. Next week we are going to be having a few people on. We're going to be talking about some indie shorts and talking about an upcoming project done by Jason Pitts. So check out what we're doing on 2G1C next week. It's going to be interesting. And with that being said, the crypt is closed.
Thanks for listening, kiddies. You're all a scream.